To all the news directors, I know this is tough stuff. This is not easy. This is very difficult. It takes an investment of time and resources. But I think you have to ask yourself, as you're putting on newscasts every day, what am I doing to make a difference in the community I'm serving? What am I doing to have impact? What am I doing to differentiate my station from everybody else who's out there, not just on TV, but online? And if you look at the analytics of stories that get the most hits on a website, for instance, you'll find that it's the investigative projects, the consumer projects, the ones that go beyond the obvious and that go beyond the day-to-day. And then you figure that if you create a culture of investigative thinking, that it then spreads beyond just your investigative unit. And I think that's the one intangible that I don't think people appreciate. Because I go into every day, asking the question, what are we doing today to Google-proof our newscast? What are we doing to distinguish ourselves? And more often than not, it's the enterprise stories that our beat reporters come up with. It's the investigative unit stories. It's our consumer unit stories. It's our health and science reporter stories. Those are the things that all incorporate those investigative skills. And I think the other perception that's out there is that if you have an investigative unit or an investigative reporter, that somehow you don't see them for 3 months. And I would say that's a management problem. That if you manage things the way it can be managed, that you can meet both masters. You can have a good investigative unit that does drop the neutron bomb every 3 months, but they can also provide great in-depth coverage on shorter turn, day of air, breaking news stories, and can become a great resource for your newsroom as the go-to people who can background people, track stuff down, look stuff up, and bring perspective and context to a story that they might not even do for your newscast, but it'll be in that tag that ties it all together for your viewers. So I think because I had a reporter background and because I came up in the investigative journalism area, I have a little more sensitivity to that. I would say some of my brethren who are news directors were producers, and their involvement with special projects was, do I have a piece today and how long is it? And then they would wince when they hear it's 3.5 minutes. I think if I could just reach out to them and say, maybe you need to come for yourself. Maybe if you just came and sat in show and tell all day and watched what some of these great reporters are doing at other stations, and you'll hear that some of them will talk about turning stuff day of air, turning stuff on big news days, on breaking news, as well as doing longer projects, that you'll be inspired, you'll be motivated. I would suggest you send, as a reward, your strongest reporter, the one that's been hustling the most, the one that's been busting their tail and breaking stories. Send them to IRE. They will get, as I like to affectionately call it, they will get infected with the investigative journalism bug. And they will be irrepressible when they come back. And I think it is an absolute guarantee. I've been doing this as a news director for 13 years, as a special projects editor for 20 years, and I have never sent someone to IRE for the first time who hasn't come back with the lights on, the curtain open, and let me get to it.